cyclone at the brass tap cash full box. Just long enough to see she my type. Out of nowhere came a woman a date. She was slinging out snifters, handing out plates. Had a way with words, had a way with pints, had a way with 6 ounces board and flight. She looked so great in her outerwear, and the way she smiled had my mind impaired. She rocked that apron like she just don't care. New edition Bobby Brown, button as a flare. The satin rose, she was so intrigued, and every word flowed smooth like she was singing. Lisa, Angela, Pamela, Renee, happens all the happy hours round my way.
Now I'm aware of what you do, thinking I might take the cue. Few more minutes till I work the nerve to get the digits. Hey waitress, I'm feeling butterflies every time you ask to take this order as I practice my lines. And this could be bliss. We sip on rum and coke, extra lime. Or we could pop Chris. I paid for bottle service with dimes.
Couldn't get her off my brain. When I slept and dreamt she was missile hurricane. Little Novocaine to the pain in my heart. Every sip, every lineup was a brand new start. One night I slept with art and a wink and a nod. I would be the seed and she'd be the pod. Made a love note image in sidewalk chalk right there at the pub at the front of the block. Wasn't trying to stalk, just wanted her to see I'm cute, I'm sweet, I'm Chun Jamey. She just called in sick. Now my sweet honeybee is a waiter named Rick. Felt kinda ick, I was aiming for the dream. A little she and me, supreme type team. Wouldn't be a thing, couldn't scale relation. From tip to give her my entire vexation.
Leaving little notes on cars, writing songs on my guitars. Clueless, those are useless, so my head is stuck among the stars. Now I'm aware of how you do, thinking if I took the cue. Few more minutes till I work the nerve to text those digits. Hey waitress, I'm feeling butterflies every time you ask to take this order as I practice my lines. And this could be bliss. We sip on rum and coke, extra lime. Or we could pop Chris. I paid for bottle service with dimes.
Shimmy yeah, shimmy yeah, shimmy yeah. Brought tacos to the bar on Valentine's Day. Wanted to make her smile, wanted to make her say,
this love looks and sounds just like a screenplay.
Quiet on the set, cause the tacos are here. She washed it down with a pint of beer.
These are kinda nice, I am impressed.
I said without thinking, let's be friends and kiss. Please I'd like to try like a chance for this. Hold me hand by beers like a modern princess. Waitress to Ruckus, a few easy sets. Not how good you are, but how good you wanna prep. I fall for all the ladies working at the bars. Service taking orders, got tips and jars. The only problem is it rarely works out. Just another guy throwing tips and tipping
Instead of
stouts.
swiping left or right and thinking I might switch to Sprite. Few more minutes till I work the nerve to text those digits. Hey waitress, I'm feeling butterflies every time you ask to take this order as I practice my lines. And this could be bliss. We sip on rum and coke, extra lime. Or we could pop Chris. I paid for bottle service with dimes.
Gina, Julie, Jordan, Marie. I'd like to thank you for the drinks that were free. Kathy, Connie, Brittany, Benny. How about we rent a Lamborghini? Ashley, Alexis, Erica, Katie. Like to buy each you a brand new Mercedes. Robin, Rachel, Holly, Denise. Why don't we rock and roll in a Chevy Caprice? Just leaning on the bar, minding my own. When she kicked up a cyclone at the brass tap cash full box. Just long enough to see she my type. Out of nowhere came a woman a date. She was slinging out snifters, handing out plates. Had a way with words, had a way with pints, had a way with 6 ounces board and flight. She looked so great in her outerwear, and the way she smiled had my mind impaired. She rocked that apron like she just don't care. New edition Bobby Brown, button as a flare. The satin rose, she was so intrigued, and every word flowed smooth like she was singing. Lisa, Angela, Pamela, Renee, happens all the happy hours round my way.
Now I'm aware of what you do, thinking I might take the cue. Few more minutes till I work the nerve to get the digits. Hey waitress, I'm feeling butterflies every time you ask to take this order as I practice my lines. And this could be bliss. We sip on rum and coke, extra lime. Or we could pop Chris. I paid for bottle service with dimes.
mind, couldn't get her off my brain. When I slept and dreamt she was mental hurricane. Little Novocaine to the pain in my heart. With every sip, every lineup was a brand new start. One night I slept with art in a wink and a nod. I would be the seed and she'd be the pod. Made a love note image in sidewalk chalk right there at the pub at the front of the block. Wasn't trying to stalk, just wanted her to see I'm cute, I'm sweet, I'm Chun Jamey. She just called in sick. Now my sweet honeybee is a way to name Rick. Felt kinda ick, I was aiming for the dream. A little she and me, supreme type team. Wouldn't be a thing, couldn't scale relation. From tip to different mind, time taxation.
Leaving little notes on cars, writing songs on my guitars. Clueless, those are useless, so my head is stuck among the stars. Now I'm aware of how you do, thinking if I took the cue. Few more minutes till I work the nerve to text those digits. Hey waitress, I'm feeling butterflies every time you ask to take this order as I practice my lines. And this could be bliss. We sip on rum and coke, extra lime. Or we could pop Chris. I paid for bottle service with dimes.
Good evening, everybody. All right, a little bit of echo going on here. Hello, is that better? Is that a little bit better? All right. Hopefully that's a little bit better there. So thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, can you give me a quick sound check, everybody? Give me a quick sound check. Can you hear the sound of my voice? Let's see if we can get a little quick check here. So tell me, can you hear me? Can you hear me? We'll find out here in a second there. So thank you, Jay, for tuning in there. Whoop. Claps to Jay. Can you hear me? Can anybody hear the sound of my voice? Can anybody hear the sound of my voice? Check 1, 2. I don't know if anybody can hear me. So, all good. All right. Hey, Chris, thanks for tuning in. Thank you for that quick sound check there. All right. We have a lot to go to. Hopefully, we get it all done. We're probably going to go in overtime. Thank you for tuning in there. That was a little extended introduction there. So, big shout out there to our intro song there. That is Royal Ruckus, and that name of that song was The Waitress Song there. So if you're familiar, if you follow the podcast, you know that was probably a familiar face in the video there. That was our good friend there, Jamey Bennet there. He's been on the podcast way back there, actually. So you'll probably be hearing more about Jamey coming up here in the next few months with the podcast and all the things that we're doing here. So like I said, we got a lot to tune in tonight. So other than Charlene, does anybody have, because we're going to need to start this off a little early here, does anybody have any clue to the reference of the title of tonight's show? Let me hear it in the chats here. You got anybody who's got a little bit of an idea what we got going on here on this show? So give me a shout out there if you think you know what the title of our show this week is. We're almost at the peak. I think I've still got some koozies left here to give away here. So except for everybody, except for Charlene there, who's tuning in, and let's see what we got going on here, right? So tell me what you got, and then we'll see let's see. All right. Maybe is that a little bit better? Yeah, maybe I didn't have all that echo. Nada. Jay's got nada. I think Charlene knows. I think Charlene knows what that is. So, all right. So, anyway, all right. So I'm gonna kind of leave that there, and we'll see. Maybe I'll put it in there. All right. I'll pin it up at the top there. Let's see. Can I put a pin? Can I put something? There you go. Hold on. What's the reference to the title for tonight's show? All right, let's see if I can pin that there. Again, I'm in here just trying to slinging it out and doing it all by myself here. So there we go. So that's pinned up to the top. So let us get started here. We're going to jump in here. We're going to do our Florida, or what the Florida here first. Like I said, we got a little bit out of sequence here. Let's see what we got going on. All right, so here is our What the Florida segment, and let's see what we got. All right, so there's our little Florida segment, What the Florida segment intro there. Again, What the Florida, because there's a lot of crazy shit that's going on here in Florida. And again, these are our Pod Deck cards from our friend Travis Brown over there at Pod Decks. He's also does a lot of podcasting and content creation coaching as well too. So this is what we use here for our cards. So here is our what the Florida question of the week. Okay. Oh boy. Let me see. Let me make sure this wasn't one last week. No, this was not the one because last week's one was how long could you go without talking? And then both Mario, if you saw last week's show with Mario and I, that was crazy. That was a long one. So this one probably won't last as long as that one because I'm so flying solo tonight. But I got a lot of things to get through tonight, so I need to shut up and let's get going here. All right. So here's the question: what the Florida question of the week? Can you do any tricks with your tongue? Can you do any tricks with your tongue? All right, Jay, I want to find out, Jay. I want to hear your answer to this. Can you do any tricks with your tongue? I know somebody in the chat that can do tricks with their tongue, but I'm not going to out them. So I'm just going to leave that right there, and let you all figure out who I'm referring to. So, well, geez, you can't even see that really. So, all right, there. Like I said, I know I got a little bit darker, but anyway, so that is our question right there. So, can you do any tricks with your tongue? So we'll come back to that. We'll do a little reference on there. Like I said, the bar's a mess. I got a lot going on. I'm a hot mess right now. So, all right, so here we go. So we got like I said, this was the reference to the show. I guess if I do the reference now, you guys are probably going to get it. So, uh, anyway, all right, so we're just going to go jump right into it. So, and then I've got other stuff we'll cover while I'm going through it here. So, let's see, Jay. Let me get my girlfriend. Touche there. All right. Wait, where is the? Oh, because I think I have the SD. I forgot to put the SD card in there. Oh well. All right, I was gonna give you the rim shot, but I forgot to put the card back in there. So anyway, well, I'll give you the air horn. How about that, Jay? Yeah. Go get your girlfriend, right? All right. So I'm just gonna go and throw it out there. Where the reference to the show here, we're gonna probably have to figure out some other giveaway here. But the reference to the show is we're gonna jump right into our Florida Man segment here because there's a lot that requires for me to describe what I'm trying to do tonight. And again, I do too much and I push it too hard. And geez, what the hell am I talking about? It actually. All right. So anyway, here we go. All right. Sorry about that. A little bit better. Okay, that is my fault. So let me back off there on the microphone because I think we do have a little bit of echoing going on. Um, so yeah, so let me. I guess since I switched over to so my apologies. I'll start all over again there. With this what we were just talking about. I think you think I'd not fooled around with the settings, in between different things, but I did. If you watch Brad Brock's show, Jams and Cocktails, he did warn me that there was changes in the OBS software, and I about freaked out. So I've got bit by it too. So pass along if you see Brad, pass along that yes, Paul got bit by the OBS update, and he's still trying to figure out. So apologies about that. Let me start all over again. So again, I'm gonna get right to it. I'm gonna get right to it because I do need a drink, and the reason why I'm showing you these things on the screen here has to do with our title. Is we're almost at the peak, and the peak means we're almost at the peak of hurricane season. So it's on Saturday, September 10th, is the peak of hurricane season. So with that being said, so you saw one of the graphics there. It shows you the different uh, characteristics and the different levels of a storm, things that they watch out: a tropical wave, a tropical depression, tropical storm, and a hurricane. Well, what do you think we're going to do tonight? What kind of drinks do you think we're going to make tonight? And that's why I was a little bit running around here. So we're going to start right off here. We do have drinks that are named after each of them. So we're going to start off first one there that was on that list is a tropical depression, right? So tropical depression is winds that are above 38 miles an hour and maximum sustained wind. So that's a pretty good breezy wind. Sustained winds means it's constantly 38 miles an hour. So we're going to start right there, and what we're going to start with is our tropical depression, right? So a tropical depression, we're going to lean on our good friend Doc Brown. Okay, so if you know Doc, a really bad rum, he makes a drink called. I need to get better lighting here. So anyway, so the really bad rum. Okay, so they count an ounce and a half of really bad rum. Okay, so there we go. So if Doc, you're in the chat there, hopefully, I don't know. All right, so we've got an ounce and a half, and we've got some ginger beer. So it's very similar to like a mule, almost, right? What we have here is a ginger beer. I'm not sure if I'm supposed to shake it up or not. We're gonna find. I probably should not have done that. But yeah, but check out this bottle opener I got. Man, it's a drumstick bottle opener that I got from Jim Riley from Rascal Flatts, our drummer. So anyway, so hopefully I don't make a mess. And there we go. I made a mess. I shouldn't have shook it up. I can't wait for the bar back to have to clean all this stuff up. All right, so then what you do is now you take our ginger beer, fill it up. And like I said, I'm making a mess. Hands across America, making a mess. All right, so yeah, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna fill this rest of this up with the ginger beer. And the last little touch is what makes it a little bit different here is you float. Looks like I should put more ice in or something. Should have put a lot more in there. Anyway, well, like I said, there's a lot more we're going to make tonight. And what you do is you float it up here with a little bit of pineapple juice. Adds a little different. And again, for those of you who do make the cocktails, I know Chris there in the chat, you make lots of cocktails. You definitely got to check out Chris in the chat there, Chris Twigs. Check out him on Instagram. He's always got cocktails at his bar that he's making. And Chris, I'll eventually get to your level someday. Those are some fine ass cocktails. So, all right, so here we go. So, and then obviously top it off, and most of these drinks that we're gonna go through tonight is, of course, with our blown out umbrella, because obviously if it's a storm out there or blowing it above 38 miles an hour, it's going to be a very windy day. So there we go. So this is our first one up there. So tropical depression. So I will need some help tonight because, like I said, there's going to be a lot of drinks being made and so forth. All right, so there's our first drink there, the tropical depression, and I'll go through things tonight here and talk about a few things. I'll go back and forth, and we'll just kind of see where it goes. All right, so yeah, okay, so let's see who we got here. All right, yeah, you got it, man. Yeah, no, I mean, like I said, I'm give credit where credit's due, definitely. So, all right, so I'm going to hand this off here, and there's our first drink of the night, the tropical depression. A little, like I said, a little light on the ice thing, but anyway, I said I got a lot to cover tonight here to give you. So this is drinking and education. This is great. If all school could be like this, that would be great, right? Probably nobody would remember anything either. So anyway, all right. So our next up here is, like I said, after you have a tropical, once things get a little bit stronger, you got to go from a tropical depression to a tropical storm. Okay. So this was a little bit new one for me. I had, looked it up and was saying, well, what exactly is a tropical storm? So I did find a recipe for something here that's actually going to be kind of a little bit interesting here. I need to get some of this water out, and I'm gonna add more ice. The magic ice under the bar. All right, we're gonna see how this works. I think it might have called for a smaller glass. All right, we're gonna give it a go anyway. Okay, so like I said, the next one up is a tropical storm. So you're going to maximum sustain winds of between 39 and 74 miles an hour. So a high end tropical storm, yeah, you're pretty much nearly a hurricane. And then, again, this is nothing to joke with, especially if it's slow moving or what. Those are some real wind. Not too bad, but again, a lot of people don't necessarily put their shutters up or don't necessarily evacuate for a tropical storm, unless you're in a low lying area with a lot of flooding and so forth. But this one next is the tropical storm. Okay. So now this recipe does call for, and Chris, I'm going to throw this to you, Chris, because you keep me honest here, and I'm going to let you make the decision on this one. So I can go either way. So this recipe that I found for a tropical storm calls for passion fruit rum. Okay. So I know you're going to cringe, and I'm probably, I know you're not going to give me flack, but we know that this passion fruit rum is a particular brand that gets a lot of flack. Obviously because it's not necessarily rum. It's kind of flavored. It's kind of flavored based rum. So should I go, Chris? The question is, should I go with? I have to admit, I do actually have a passion fruit rum in the house. Should I go with that, or should I just go with some regular rum and just add passion fruit to it? So you let me know. Should I go rum, like a light rum in passion fruit, or just go with the passion fruit rum and it's already made in the bottle? You tell me which way you think I should go. Hey Sean, what's going on there? Hey Sean, thanks for joining there. Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't mind. I like having fun. I like bartending. Making a mess and getting creative and making all sorts of stuff. So yeah, so thanks for tuning in, Sean. So, all right, Chris, what should I go with? Should I go with the passion fruit rum that's already in the bottle, or should I mix just some light rum and some passion fruit? So here we go. Regular rum, Chris says. Okay. So what I'm going to show you all that what I was referring to. All right. So yes, I have to admit I do have a bottle of Bacardi, and I'm not quite sure where I remember how this has ended up in this house. Anyway, so there is a Malibu passion what? Malibu. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. So this is a passion fruit rum. And again, there's a lot of talk that now let's see, this is only 21% alcohol. It's not even near the 40 that we talk about. But anyway, so we're gonna put that away. All right, just because we're making drinks tonight and I'm not prepared as much for what I want to do, I'm gonna go ahead and use a clear rum here, and I got way too much stuff in my bar. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and just use some Tide's rum here. They're based in Washington or Oregon. Yeah, they're based in Oregon there. If you'd watched a couple of happy hours ago when we had the House of Beer, Wine, and Spirits on, this is one of the product launches that we did there for these guys. We did a live streaming there. So there is Tides. Okay. All right, so here we go. All right, so we're going to go with our. All right, there's our ounce and a half of the rum. All right. And then they also they called for an ounce of it. Oops, my bad. And now it calls for now a vodka. Okay, so here we go. We're getting a little crazy now. We're crossing. And Tides also does make a vodka as well. Okay, like most rum companies here do because they have the ability to make a product and so forth. So we're going to go ahead and put our ounce in there. All right. Like I said, making a mess. Okay, that goes back over there. We have an ounce of blue curacao. But hold on. But first, before we get there, in a shaker, we're going to combine the iced passion fruit rum, pineapple juice. I fucked up already. All right. So anyway, we're gonna try to salvage. So too bad I didn't read my. Oh well, I guess I just have to add more vodka. That's the second part. All right. Well, wait. Yeah, she said. She's like, "Where's the passion fruit?" That's right. All right, that was the passion fruit there. Okay. All right, now let's do this again. Now look at that sound. All right. We're going to strain this. Like I said, I probably should have used a smaller glass for this effect. So let's just see how it turns out. Okay. All right, it wasn't too bad, I guess. Right? Okay. All right. So now part two, we're going to add our vodka again. Remember, we have to add our vodka. And then get ready for our blue carousel. I'm just going to add a little bit. Okay. Okay. And this calls for our. Hold on, thinking. See, I'm trying to think. Vodka, blue carousel, shake well, garnish. Oh, see, I already fucked up. All right, hold on. All right. Man, if I was working at Chili's, they'd probably fire me right now. I'll let the strong person do it. Yeah, let's not break the. We're trying to make sure this stuff is. There you go. You just gotta twist it. I think it's childproof actually. All right. Well, that's because it's a little frothy. All right. Anyway, so what I gotta do? Curacao. All right. What did I say? How much? An ounce. Okay. Here we go. Cap. All right. All right. And then it says to add. I'm really confused now. Anyway, so we're just gonna skip this. We're just gonna skip this part here. Okay. So anyway, the whole part is to shake well, strain over yellow layer. Okay. Now, the whole premise here is what they're trying to do is they're trying to slowly layer the blue, right? And I'm doing a poor job of it. All right. Well, at this point now, I just gonna go ahead and give up. Okay. Yeah, it got all mixed up because of the storm. All right. So this one calls for a. All right, guys. I'm just skipping over stuff because we're really bogging the show down now. So anyway, so there's our. It's a little strong. Definitely taste the. Yeah, actually, you know what it is? I think I accidentally just made. I'm gonna actually have to call this one. Yeah, these are glasses that we stole from Red Lobster. I think I'm actually gonna call this one Windex. Anyway, so it should look a lot better. It should be. There should be a layer separation, but again, I'm rushing and I'm kind of screwing all this up. Anyway, so let's see who's tuned in there tonight. All right, so yeah, so gonna have to start. Yeah. All right, so let's go jumping on here. So while we're waiting for the next one here, what we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and again read some of this stuff here about the whole reason about the name of the show here. So as we were talking about, the annual peak of the Atlantic hurricane season arrives this weekend. And as I said, September 10th is the climatological peak of the Atlantic hurricane season. All right, so Saturday marks the statistical peak of the Atlantic hurricane season as September 10 is when the Atlantic basin has had the most hurricanes and named storms over the course of history. The seasonal peak is also when conditions are the most optimal for the development of tropical storms and hurricanes. There's an overlap of favorable factors in early to mid September, including ocean water reaching its highest temperature, that atmosphere's ability to generate thunderstorms hitting its peak, and hostile shearing winds declining to a minimum. A parade of disturbances known as tropical waves, which act as seeds for development and peak in July, are still numerous in September. Okay. All right. So those overlapping factors, favorable factors, occur over a large area of the Atlantic basin compared to early and late in the season. So there's more real estate open for tropical development during the seasonal peak. And all of those factors lead to more named storms and hurricanes during the statistical peak of hurricane season, as I was showing in that graph there. So the graph then indicates the number of active storms, active named storms, and hurricanes on each day of the Atlantic hurricane season in the historical record. It should and clearly shows the 3 month period from August through October encompasses the majority of named storms, 77%, and hurricanes, 87% in an average season. It also shows a distinct peak day with the most active named storms and hurricanes on September 10th. Colorado State University tropical scientist Phil Klotzbach said that roughly 3/4 of the Atlantic hurricane season since 1966 have had at least one active named storm on September 10th. Also, half of all seasons have had at least one active hurricane on this date. Now, this doesn't guarantee that September 10th will have a rash of Atlantic named storms, right? But how much of the season is left? The 2022 season has had a slow start, especially when compared to the past 2 years. The past 2 years, 2020 was kind of real crazy. With obviously 2020 was, I think we all thought the world was going to end because of COVID, and we had an amazing amount of storms that year. Um, but so far, there have been 5 named storms so far this season as of September, well, today, right, 8th, including 2 that became hurricanes, Danielle and Earl, as I mentioned. Before those 2 storms formed late last week, the season had at least active, has had its least active start in 30 years, in a rare August without any named storms forming. So we went through all of August without any storms named out there. An average hurricane season after September 10th has to historically produce another 6 named storms, including 4 hurricanes, 2 of which have at least reached Category 3 intensity. And of course, the most important statistic is how many of these named storms and hurricanes strike land. Right? We can have a whole bunch of fish storms, but if it doesn't hit the U.S., nobody would think it's an active season, right? Or even would thought about it because they're not needing to worry about it. But again, this whole summer, all the meteorologists and weathermen involved had nothing else to talk about, and they're trying to, dig up things to talk about because was pretty quiet. So, but however, this is where here for Florida, the peak for Florida is actually in October. So those of us listening in Florida, we still have a little bit ways to go. So later in the season, development can occur closer to land in the Western Caribbean Sea, Southwestern Atlantic Ocean, and Gulf of Mexico. October's 2018's devastating Cat 5 Hurricane Michael was a stark recent example. That hit up in the Panhandle just outside of Panama City, and if for those of you who remember, that was a storm that clipped the lower part of the state, curved on up into the Panhandle, and for a Cat 5 that landed into just outside of Panama City, there were people that talked about in southern Georgia that had winds, Cat 1, Cat 2 winds in southern Georgia. Now, there's not a whole lot of distance, from the water to southern Georgia, right there on the line between Florida. But still, I'm sure most people probably lived in Georgia and said, I never would have to worry about hurricanes or hurricane insurance or all those things. But they got whipped pretty good. So, I guess unless you're maybe living in Montana or Iowa, like our good friends Cole and Roger over there that just drinking up there in Iowa, I don't think there's a chance of a hurricane hitting those guys, but they got other problems like tornadoes. Anyway, so there's still a long way to go. In the past 10 years, the storm season, last storm fizzled as soon as October 25th and as late as December 7th. Now it's time to make sure you got your hurricane plan in case another storm threatens the season. So there we go. So that is your PSA, so that we are not quite out of storm season yet, and because you never know what's going to actually happen there. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed a little bit of the history there. I'm gonna go back to full screen. Hopefully you enjoyed that history about uh, this show. What we talked about was peak of the hurricane season, and we're trying to tie a few drinks off offerings to this too. So we're gonna make the next one up here. Obviously, because I made Windex, I don't think I'm really gonna enjoy drinking that anyway. Um, yeah, put blue carousel. I guess it probably would have been better if I actually made it correctly. Okay, so here, trivia time again. I know. What? Yeah, I know. That's what I was just. Let's see if that's any better. That might be a little bit better. Okay. Okay. Echoey now. Okay. Is that a little bit better? Keep talking. Keep talking. Okay. Let's get to the next thing. Yeah. All right. I can't hear you because I have headphones on, so you got to give me hand signals. Hand signals. Hand signals. Yes. I don't know. How long she been doing this? Anyway, so all right, so since we didn't get the question there about the what's the reference to the hurricane season, let's go ahead and see if we've got some other stuff here. I think yeah, I'm sure some of you guys in the chat are going to kind of get this. So the first question, the first person that answers this, I think hopefully I'm going to get this answer right. But so since we've already talked about a tropical depression and made the drink, we talked about a tropical storm and made a drink. The next one up is after once it gets strong enough and goes up to 74 miles per hour plus, we get a hurricane. So the question is, where is the credited location of where the famous hurricane cocktail was made? I'll take the city, I'll take anything fairly resemblance of the answer there. So first person with the answer in, you tell me, and then I think I still have some koozies, like I said. So let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and try to make this drink now. No answers? Nobody's got an answer yet? Nobody's got an answer to that question? I don't care even if you go Google it. So again, the question is, where was the credit location to where the hurricane drink was made? Guess where was it first made? I guess where's the credit location? There you go. There's all right. So there you go, Chris. Chris got it there. All right. So Chris got it there with New Orleans. So for any bonus points that you don't get anything extra, Chris, do you want to tell us what bar was it made from? Which bar was it? All right. So we do have. So Chris got it. So make sure we make note. Chris has got some koozie there from. I think we've got some Outer Banks koozies there. Chris, I would give you the boat drinks koozie, but you can get one much easier than most people here. So I'm with Chris, New Orleans. All right, Sean. We'll see if we've got some consolation prize for you there. So there you go. Oh, okay. Whoa, okay. Oh, Jay's in there with Pat O'Brien's. Okay, so we'll figure out what we've got. So all right, so here we're gonna try to make it more of a mess here. So we've got quite a few things here. I know there's a couple different recipes, and again, I don't I got this nice Smuggler's Cove book, and you think I actually start using it. So I'm gonna need to clean that out, please. So all right, so we're gonna go ahead, Charlie. Here, take this too. All right, and actually, what I might do is just use a different shaker. Okay, so the recipe I looked up here was, calling for just the hurricane here, lots of booze in it. Obviously, that makes sense, right? So it does call for passion fruit. So again, the key about all of these drinks seems to be a passion fruit version. So that was an ounce of passion fruit. We do call for, they do call for Chris. They do call for a Smith and Cross Jamaican rum. So I don't have Smith and Cross. I've got a lot to get. But let's do. You think, Chris? Should we do the Dr. Bird? Should we bring the funk here? Should we bring some funk to this? Okay. All right. I don't know if Charlene's gonna like this. don't actually use that one a lot. All right, so there's, whew, oh boy, man, it's got a funk. All right, and then it does call for this one, save some black, some seal. Let's see. I don't have any. Yeah, I guess I do have goslings. Okay, there you go. What'd you say? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you're gonna like this, but all right. But guess what? Let's suck it up, Buttercup. All right, so we do have. All right, so we got throw our orange juice in there. No, but that'll be for the other one. If you want to give me that, and just bring me in the grenadine. That's grenadine. Yeah, but just go grab the grenadine. All right, so we're throwing some grenadine in there. Ooh, it's a little bit much. Fresh lime juice. Because you know what I say, fresh limes matter, right? All right, there's that. All right, well, you know what? I think I've got it all. Let me get my ice. Yeah, I probably would definitely get fired from Chili's. I don't think I'm a very good bartender. I have fun though. You know, that's all that matters, right? Right? That's all that really should matter. So, all right, so here we go. All right, looks like I had the right amounts there. That is shocking. All right, so garnish this with a little. All right, somebody's eating my oranges. And again, this is another one where we're putting a blowing out on there. Yeah, this is where a lot of these drinks, right? You get a lot of fruit, So this is where this is great because you actually are getting, nutrition at the same time as drinking. Nutrition and drinking. That's got to be a new shirt, right? I drink tropical drinks because it's nutritious or something to that effect. Or too late. Anyway, so she's jumping in here. And then lastly, it does require a cherry. And I probably should have skewered this with the. Now there we go. Now there you go. Does that not say tropical? There you go. We've got a whole little fruit thing going on. A big slapping of an orange that's probably was from California, and not Florida. And there we go. So, do you want to try it? There we go. Let's see if she's gonna like this. I don't know. Now just be open minded. Just be gentle. Be open minded. Open your mind, like the Matrix. Like I put open your mind because I put peyote in it. No, she doesn't like it. What don't you like about it? She don't like the funk. We'll get you there someday. We'll get you there eventually. Anyway, all right. So there we go. We used our Dr. Bird. So does that approve? Chris, does that approve? There they go. Bring the funk. That works. There you go. As long as you like what you make, that's right. That's all that matters, right? But she doesn't like what I made. So I guess it does matter. All right. So again, let me jump back here. I forgot. All right. So here's the Florida question. If you're just joining us, can you do any tricks with your tongue? All right. So Sean, since you joined last, I think you may have been the last one to join there. So you need to tell us what is your answer here? What can you do with your tongue? What tricks can you do with your tongue? Yeah, well, she can tie the cherry stem in a knot there. So I guess I keep her around for certain things. All right. So anyway, so now that I've got to drink this myself. So as we said, category 1 storm. Right now we're at a 74 miles an hour at least, and then that goes up to, and then hopefully that those of you who live in Florida, you already know the story. If you're not in Florida, at least you maybe learn a little bit some stuff that you may never need to know about. But Maybe that's right. Maybe you'd be on Jeopardy, drinking Jeopardy. That's it. Drinking. That should be a new game. Hey, Jay, we need to talk to Brad about drinking Jeopardy. That'd be great. So okay, so one of the things is with the storms, right? So they do have. You may have heard Saffir Simpson, and they do have different categories, right? So category one, as we talked about, it starts off 74 to 95 miles an hour. Damage, they talk about damage to stuff. It be some damage, but then a cat two is 96 to 110 miles an hour. Okay, 110 mile an hour winds. That's pretty. Yeah, I'd definitely be putting her. I'd be putting my shutters up just because of my day job. I'd be putting it up for a cat one already, just because of again I've got to do other stuff and won't be probably at home maybe. But anyway, cat two probably some extensive damage. Now cat three, cat three is 111 miles an hour to 109. Again, I know tornadoes have a much more significant wind speed, but I mean it's a very smaller area that it can impact. I mean I know tornadoes, EF5s could be massive, but again this is something that's just spinning and spinning and spinning on top of you. Once it gets over you, you got the eye wall where things are quiet and calm, and then you get the dirty side, is what we call it, is the back side of the storm, which is usually a lot worse than the front side. But then when cat three, that could be very devastating damage. Cat four, 130 to 156 miles an hour. And that could be, the damage is catastrophic, okay? And then anything basically 157 miles and above is a cat five, right? And we talked about Hurricane Michael, Hurricane Andrew was a cat five. I think Camille, they talked about, so there's been quite a few cat fives that have been out there. There's been a lot of cat fives out in the middle of the ocean. Luckily, that's never hit anything, but there's been some strong storms that do crank up. A cat five is just total loss, right? I mean, Hurricane Andrew was a big change here in Florida. Building codes changed. South Florida, um, anything closer to the water, anything closer to the ocean, all the buildings changed. Evacuation. Well, even Katrina. Katrina wasn't even a cat five. At landfall, their problem was obviously the levee system, the water that just sat and just buried them, right? So that was a whole different story. But a cat five just is nothing, no joke, nothing to really fool with. And I've actually have a lot of coworkers um, that went through Andrew in their houses in down in South Dade, Miami, and it was one of those. I'll never. You always hear the story that people are going to say, "I'm going to ride this out. I'm not worried about. I'm not leaving my house." I get it. It's really difficult to want to leave your property, run away. You never know what you're going to come back to. People stealing looting your stuff. But at the same time, I think every time you always hear those stories, there's also another story you hear somebody telling you, "I will never do that again." There's always a lot of people that say that. That is one of the most frightening things that ever have gone through was riding a hurricane out in a house, that is of substantial strength. So, yeah, so that's at Cat 5, and that's as far as it goes up to, right? Anything above 157 miles an hour, forget it. House is gone. Everything just, that's why we pay for insurance and things like that, right? But as long as you don't, and nobody gets hurt, nobody loses life, that's all that matters, right? It's just material and property. So, all right. So let me see. Got a question there. Um, yes, there's another reason why I live in Maryland. Well, they sometimes do skirt up the coast, right? What was it? North Carolina got hit with Florence. Like it was that 3 or 4 years ago, I think it was, right? I mean, I know that's nowhere near Maryland, but or even Sandy, right? Sandy wasn't even really a super strong windstorm. It was more water related. So, but all right, so we're gonna wrap this up in our last drink of the night here. Like I said, my bar is a mess. It's all tore up. So we just ended on a cat five. So you probably may know what's coming up then next, right? So this one is it. This is a cat five hurricane cocktail. Now, a lot of places that serve these will only allow you to have two, maybe one at the most, and because it is no joke, right? So this requires, and Charlene's actually going to be sad because the first thing in this list here that I'm taking this recipe from, I think, is a Joe's Crab Shack here recipe. I think this is Joe's Crab Shack. but it calls for 2 parts Bacardi 151, and they don't make Bacardi 151 anymore. So we do have a substitute for it, and what we substituted this for was Don Q 151. Yeah, that's terrible, man. The lighting on that just sucks. So anyway, yeah, I gotta get some better lighting when I turn that light off in here. So anyway, so Don Q 151, we are stepping it up here. Puerto Rican rum here. Let's get a smell. Let's get a little sniff. Ooh, no, it actually doesn't smell too bad actually. All right, but I think these guys are rummers. Everyone in the chat here is a rummer. So if you're watching in the chat, if you're watching this live, if you're watching this later on, definitely tune in, leave a comment there. But these guys are professionals. Okay, so it says 2 parts. All right, so I was gonna get one of those buckets to do this with, but I'm running out of room here. Okay, there we go. All right, so it just basically says just throw all this shit together and mix. Pour over ice. Top generously with Myers. All right, we're gonna see what we got here. I'll put a little bit more. I'll put some ice in here first. All right, so 2 parts. So if it's me, you never know what you're gonna find in the bar here. All right. Yeah, mix it here. All right, so there's our 2 parts. There's our first part. All right. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. And why not? I had him on. I had him on the YouTube chat the other night, last Sunday. And if you tuned in and watched the episode there with John Hasbrook, thank you for tuning in there. That was a great time, great chat. Everybody had a great asking him questions. A lot of great people that were in the chats there, hanging out and asking questions of John and how his process and his product. So with that being said, let's give a big shout out to John here, and we're gonna go with our Just Rum Simple White. All right. If you want to throw that in front of the camera there. Okay. There we go. Okay. So there's we go. 2 parts. 2 parts. All right. 1 part now. I need to make more room here. This is getting ridiculous. Again, isn't this usually the usually the reason why people have a really bad experience with thinking that rum is too much. They have a bad experience because already right off the bat, this is going to be a very sugar drink, right? Our sugar in high proof, which is insane, right? Okay, so 1 part, our passion fruit. There we go. There's an ounce of that. Okay, and orange juice. Uh-oh. We need orange juice. All right. So, yeah, just bring in the juice. Bring in the juice. All right. So while she runs and grabs the orange juice there, I'm going to get my shaker ready to go. And just to see what we got here. Jealous. I've been looking for that. Which one is that, Sean? The Don Q? Perfect. Yes, there you go. Yeah, also Puerto Rican. Yeah. Yeah, I know. I just happened to stumble across. I just went looking for whatever 151 was around. There was, you know what's funny? So okay, so maybe you guys can help me answer it. Is there was next to the Don Q, there was Cruzan. Cruzan has an overproof also. It's weird because the label says it's aged in 2-year aged in. Hold on, I actually took a picture of it. It was aged in. Okay, so Cruzan. It's called Cruzan Hurricane Proof 137. This rum is, and again, I was in ABC. This rum is best used in tall island drink recipes. Cruzan Estate 2-year rum is bottled at 151 proof. Okay, but all over the bottle it does say 137 proof. So I don't know. And does anybody know what that means or the reference, or is it they trying to sell it as 151, or does it drop a little proof that they cut it when they put it into the bottle? Is that maybe what they're doing? If anybody knows. All right, let me go back to my. All right, it's supposed to be sour mix for the taste, but I think we're gonna keep that out. I think it's got enough sugar in it already as it is. All right, here we go. I like how the shaking of the drinks actually come through really well. Got my own sound effects here. Okay, so Chris says the cruising is 137 because it was the top speed of the hurricane that devastated their. Oh, I got you. Okay, so was that Maria? Was that the storm? Okay, or I guess Cruise Ann or wherever the heck it's from. Okay, that makes a whole lot more sense now. Okay, so here we go. All right. Looks like I got decent measurements there and so forth. All right, we're just skipping. Like I said, we're just gonna skip the garnishes because it's already getting late. Wow, it's really crazy. Okay, you can taste that it's strong, but once you swallow it or spit it, once you swallow it, or I guess we should be talking about our palates. Once on the back end, you know what I'm talking about? But now that actually I've just it just actually started, letting it kind of linger around in my mouth here. It's like it tastes a little bit like Nyquil. I'm sure if you drink enough of it, it definitely is going to help you put you to sleep there. So, oh my God. So, okay, don't recall. Donate some of their storm. Okay, that's cool. I guess I should have. Um, okay, so what you're saying, Chris, is it is 151, but they just called it 137. Okay, now I feel bad. I should have bought that one. So, all right. Well, I learned. Look, I learned something too on this show here. So thanks, Chris. Again, talk to Chris. Chris is, as you probably all know, Chris is part of the Florida Rum Society. I don't know, Sean. Are you part of the? Did you join the Florida Rum Society as well too? I'm not sure. There, Jay. Yeah. Again, if you guys want to learn more about rum, obviously, the rum program, Florida Rum Society is, probably one of the biggest, and got a lot of great members here. Learn a lot of stuff, a lot of things. If you really want to learn and get into the rum world, the FRS is huge. I've learned a lot, just in the past year here from them, and also, they have a whole rum lier program there that our guest Greg Hill was on a couple months ago of the Royal Rum Society. And if you want to learn more about rum, but you don't want to take years kind of acquiring a lot of that, and you want to kind of like jump a little bit in, you can take rumlier.com, and you can enroll in the course there and really just dive in and learn, expand your rum knowledge, learn more. You can become a rumlier at different levels. You can make it all the way up to a master rumlier. And if you do choose to go through that and check that out, rumlier.com, you can use the promo code DRUMS, DRUMS 2022, and you can get 15% off the enrollment for the course, the certifications, and so forth. So, again, it's a great way. I mean, I'm sure you can probably, if you wanted to buy somebody something for Christmas, it's kind of probably a cool thing for them to do. You can go through the certification, and, actually, and you do have to do a little bit of work once you take the course. I still haven't done the tastings yet. Um, I've I gotta slow this whole stuff down to be able to do that. But anyway, so yeah, check that out there. So yeah, so Sean, definitely check it out there. FRS. You go over to Facebook, go out to the website. Chris is, like I said, Chris member. We'll definitely introduce you. They do a lot of virtual happy hours. Chris, did you sign up to do the black tot tasting, the virtual tasting coming up soon? That actually, I'm looking forward to that one. That's actually pretty cool. They do a lot of virtual tastings as well for the group too. So, okay, so all right, so there's our cat 5. I'm just skipping over cat 2, 3, 4. We'll go right from cat 1 to cat 5 because there's no point. You go 1 to 5, like there. Mm. So you don't like that? Which one do you like? Oh, okay, yeah. You have to pick her off the floor. It's good thing she's got a short drive. Yeah. Oh well, yeah. Not compared to what she used to be. All right, Mitch from Black. Yeah, so much. Yeah. So what's funny is talking about it totally just reminded me there. So again, if I'm sure you guys listen to the podcast also. Again, every Tuesday, new podcast drop every week. Different different interesting folks. Um, I know I'll talk about in a second the podcast I just dropped this past week, and I did talk a little bit about on the show last Thursday about the guest I was interviewing. But I want to jump back a week. Um, so I had Matt Petrick on. You guys may know him. Uh, he's also AKA the Cocktail Wonk. Um, we talked about on that podcast is maybe doing one of these happy hours where him and I do actually some cocktail making, or maybe we do a Zoom one where pick up his book and actually we'll make a cocktail from that book page or something like that. But um, I was amazed because everyone's like, "Oh, you haven't had Matt on." I finally reached out to him and had him on, and I'll tell you, and no joke, and talking about the listeners. I mean that episode is done really well. It shouldn't be any surprise, and I was like probably one of my best podcasts in the first 7 days that I've had on. But again, it's just sometimes how it goes, and maybe hopefully it shows a little bit of growth for the podcast for me and so forth. But again, if you listen to it already, I appreciate it. Don't forget to if you listen on Apple, subscribe, give a rating, leave me a review. You tell me what you like, what you don't like, and then again, that these things do actually help because it helps the algorithms for Apple to recommend to other people to listen to other podcasts there. But yeah, so that was a really great episode there with Matt. But this week's episode, which just dropped 2 days ago now, had a great Friday. As you know, if you watched the show, like I said last week with Mario, I took Friday off because I had lined up an interview with Michael Franti, drummer, Manas Itene. Itene. I keep saying it wrong. Itene, right? So Manas has been with Michael for over 20 years. Percussionist, drummer. Again, referenced. He's an endorsed player from one of our other alums, Paul E. He makes percussion, hand drums, etc. And again, that's all part of the cool alums that everyone kind of reaches out and connects each other with. So that was really cool of that. So, but again, I had a great week, great Friday. Interviewed him, which super cool guy. He has a new song out there. He does some solo stuff as well, so definitely check it out. His own stuff. And then we got a chance to go to the concert that night. I got a chance up close to see his drum kit up on the stage before the show. We hung out afterwards, and super awesome guy. So definitely, if you haven't listened to the episode, it's not one of the longer ones that I have. It's a very condensed, to the point, simple, cool interview. I haven't released a video yet for it. I'm trying to see if he's available to do like what we did with John, just hang out in the chat, answer questions, and just have a a great little evening and do a watch party for that episode with Manis again, drummer for Michael Franti. But yeah, so that's it's been a crazy week. I don't know what I'm doing next week. Maybe I'm doing a solo one. Maybe I'm not doing one at all. But definitely a week from this coming Saturday, though, we are going to see finally after 2 years in COVID, Ringo Starr. So we've got tickets to go see Ringo Starr here in South Florida. So looking to that forward to that show. It's Ringo Starr and his All Star Band, which will be really really fun. So as we wrap up here, so just real quick, give quick shout outs here. So Again, don't forget to rate, review, subscribe to the podcast, social media, all those things. Subscribe here if you haven't already to the YouTube channel. Um, Again, it just gives me a chance more. If you've already seen some of the stuff I do, I have so much more in my head here to the creativity is it's bound by time that I have. But yeah, but also what I'm also having is a great partner working with Brad Brock from the Jams and Cocktails, Jams and Coffee, the JNC podcast. He's got a lot of stuff going on too. We're working together on part of our podcast network that we're expanding here. We're also going to be doing more content. He does a Wednesday show on Wednesday nights at 8 p.m. Live show, and then, I do my show here on Thursdays. It's supposed to be only half an hour, but out of time that doesn't always work out. And I do my podcast on Tuesdays with it's totally different than what the show is. But we're also working on some other content here. So rate and follow him too. Again, following him follows us. We're all growing together, Brad and I, to build out this network. And there's possibly maybe other podcasts that we're going to bring in too. So looking forward to all this going forward. It's been amazing. Third year in, having fun, you guys hanging out with me, uh, sharing a lot of cool stories and so forth. And yeah, I think that's kind of it, man. Again, hopefully, like I said, if you didn't know about anything about hurricanes and why it's the peak of the hurricane season coming up on Saturday, you're probably going to hear a lot of talk about it on the Weather Channel. Hear them talk about the peak of the hurricane season. Well, now you know why it's the peak of the hurricane season. Now you know a little bit more about hurricanes, the differences between them, the different cocktails you can make for them, and yeah, see if let me know. I mean, make some cocktails here and of your version of any of these four drinks. And well, I forgot. I totally forgot to add. I forgot to float some dark rum on top of our Hurricane 5. All right. Well, anyway, that just makes me just have to make more this weekend. So I appreciate everybody tuning in. We're gonna go ahead and sign off there. So make sure I keep track of Jay, Sean, and Chris. I'll try to send some swag your way. So I'll probably try to send me a DM over in Instagram, and because I'll obviously need your address to send you some stuff here. So, but yeah, thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Sean, and thank you, Jay. Thank you, Charlene, for tuning in. I appreciate it. Have a great night. So this is Paul with the Backbeats Meets Spirits. Have a great night, y'all.